In the Korean Basketball League this season, Anyang KGC secured the regular season title. And they did that in dominant fashion as well, spending the entire season in first place. On top of their terrific run in the domestic league, the club also saw overseas success, winning the East Asian Super League Champions Week in March. Now, Anyang is looking to carry on their momentum to lift the KBL Championship trophy. Joining us via video for this week's Touch Base in Seoul is one of the key members of that team, American basketball player Omari Spellman. He made the All-KBL first team at an awards ceremony last week and was named MVP of the EASL tournament. Mr. Spellman, hello, and thank you for being on the show today.
Hi, man. I'm happy to be here.
First, congratulations on clinching the regular season title. How did you experience it? How did you and your team celebrate the win?
Man, it was a great night. Home game, cap/regular season home game. So it meant a lot to him to be able to clinch it that night. The ceremony was beautiful, to say the least. Really memorable, and I know he'll carry those memories for the rest of his life. I know I will. So just celebrating it with him and bringing it in with him was a really special feeling.
I'm sorry, when you say with him, who are you talking about?
Captain,
right.
Number 11.
Right. And did you manage to celebrate it properly? I know because it's just the regular season title and there's the championship coming up as well. Were you able to still celebrate it?
Oh, yeah. We still had the ceremony on the court, confetti and trophy ceremony and regular season champion banner unveiling. So it was really a good night, and I'm just glad we got to do it for our captain's last home game.
And your Anyang side, it was only the third team in KBL history to go wire to wire to win the regular season in first place throughout the entire season. What's been the secret to your success this year, do you think? How have you managed to stay so consistent?
I think we just have a very complete team. A lot of different guys contribute. It's not just one person. It's not just two people. It's a complete team effort, coaching staff, all the way down to our training staff and our translators. So we all work together to make sure we produce the best basketball we can, and it worked for us this year.
Yeah, the team did amazingly well, but did you do anything different this year, perhaps, especially because last year you guys got so close, falling just short of the championship to the SK Knights?
Not too much different. When you have a championship team, championship pedigree, the year before last year, they won the championship, runner-up last year, and regular season champions this year. It's not about doing too much different. It's about staying consistent and staying tedious to the principles that got you there. I was the new guy last year, still fairly new because some of these guys have been together for years and years. So just trying to contribute and, leave my mark on this team as best I can.
This is your second season in the KBL and with Anyang. You're, in fact, joining us from the KGC facilities, right?
Yes. We're actually in our film room, our strategy room, so to speak. So this is where this interview is taking place.
Yeah, and I see behind you that there are pictures of the past years of Anyang's success, right?
Yeah, these are actually kind of Euro pieces, I guess, of the past years and the players that were on the teams. It's a really pretty dope history lesson when you look at some of the guys and how they've grown, seeing people when they were younger, seeing Cap as a younger player, Big O as a younger player. It's really super cool. Just a little history lesson.
Well, take us back to when you first decided to come to the KBL and Korea. Can you tell us about that decision? Was it a difficult one to make at the time? What did you know of Korea and KBL at the time?
I really didn't know much. My agent, Marlon Harrison, told me it was a good opportunity, and I just really was focused on making the best decision for me and my family's future. Once I did a little bit more research, realizing Jared Sullinger had played for Anyang KGC and his pedigree as a player, especially growing up in Ohio and watching what he did at Ohio State, um, it was kind of like it made me a little bit more comfortable.
Mm.
So um, when I decided to make the jump, um, things were, I don't want to say seamless, but it was a good experience.
Right, how was the jump? You said it wasn't perhaps seamless. What sort of difficulties or what sorts of adjustments were there for you?
Well, readjusting to a leadership role, being a number one option offensively. My time in the NBA, I was more of a role player, catch and shoot, offensive rebound kind of player. Now, that wasn't my entire game, but that's the job I was asked to do. So, coming into a situation where not very aware of the play style and being adjusted to that, it's very different basketball. It's a lot faster pace.
Hmm.
Um, Defense is different. So, adjusting to being a number one option in a different style of basketball was an adjustment, but my talent and work ethic allowed me to propel through that.
Right, so it seems the team put a lot of trust in you, put a lot of responsibilities on you. Were there any other difficulties, perhaps off the court as well? For example, things like a language barrier, maybe, or even the food, maybe.
Yeah, I think really just being away from my family, being away from home, and a completely new environment, kind of on your own. You know, Daryl Monroe is like an older brother to me, so he helped me a lot. Without him, I don't know if a lot of this is possible. So just kind of finding people that I can rely on and finding my circle and my comfort zone was probably one of the biggest challenges. But once I did, very much comfortable and embracing of the situation.
Right, so now that you found your comfort zone, how has it felt living in Korea? What has that experience been like? Was it what you expected?
Oh, that's amazing. Just being embraced by the fan culture in the KBL and um, just getting to see different things, taking trips to Daegu and seeing what that's like, or going to Seoul and seeing what that's like. It's just so many different experiences that being in Korea has allowed me. Even being able to go to Japan and see Okinawa and Utsunomiya for the first time. There's been so many things that uh, playing in the KBL has allowed me to see, and I'm very appreciative of that.
It seems like you've had some great experiences. How have you developed as a player as well, do you think, over the past 2 years? Has being in the KBL helped you progress your game?
It's expanded my game, especially with the defenses that I see on a nightly basis. Um, you have to find different ways to score the basketball. Sometimes um, the simple shot may not be the shot that you're going to be able to go to. Sometimes you're going to have to do a counter, a second, third move. And even then, defenses are so good. Your second, third move, they still might be there, and you have to find a way to make a tough contested shot. So um, it's just showed me that I'm capable of more than I thought at a point in time,
Hmm.
and it's allowed me to grow confidence wise as well.
What would you say has been the highlight of your career in Korea so far? Perhaps the fact that Anyang won the East Asian Super League Championship week in Japan last month, right? When you were named the MVP of the tournament, you scored a whopping 53 points in one game against San Miguel of the Philippines, right?
Yeah, that would definitely be one of the highs for sure. Um, and I would say that's attributed to playing in the KBL and how hard it is on a nightly basis with the defenses and the coverages that I see. Um, Not to knock any other leagues, but there's different defensive coverages. And I think seeing how hard the defense is played in the KBL, going against other defenses, it allowed me to have a 53-point night because it's like, wow, looks that are usually never there in the KBL are there. So it's taking what the defense is giving me and not settling and not being comfortable with scoring what I normally score and realizing I feel great tonight. This could be a 50-point night, so going and getting it.
Well, it seems you took the opportunities with both hands. You've already tasted success so far this season, so I'm sure you'll be looking to keep that going. The next challenge, of course, for you and Anyang is the Championship Series set to begin on April 13th. How have the preparations for the Championship Series been going so far?
Just watching film, researching a lot of guys. We play the winner of Mobis and Carrot, so watching that series, seeing how things go, watching our matchups with both those teams in my free time through the KBL app, and just making sure as a team that we're ready and focused to get the job done. We know regardless of who comes out, it's not going to be an easy series. So taking it one game at a time, one series at a time, and not getting ahead of ourselves.
Sure, and I'm sure your focus will be on the upcoming Championship Series, but looking beyond that, what are your plans down the road?
In terms of what?
After the Championship Series, do you see your future in Korea continuing, or do you have other plans maybe down the road as well?
That's a decision that I will have to make after. I know I have some obligations coming right after the season. I'll be playing in Puerto Rico as well as in the World Cup. So once I get time to settle down and think with my family and try to make the best decision for myself and my family, I think we'll cross that bridge. I do think Korea is definitely in great contention for me to be back next year, but given the status of the contracts and they're being year-to-year contracts, just weighing my options.
Well, I'm sure the fans would love to see you back. We're going to have to leave it there for today, but it was an absolute pleasure to talk to you, and we wish you the best of luck for the Championship Series. We've been speaking to Omari Spellman of Anyang KGC. Thank you once again for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me.